They say time heals everything. But why does it still hurt? Why do the memories still grip you? Tighter than the hands of the one who left? You smiled. You moved on. But deep down, that pain still breathes. It lurks in your quiet moments, in your prayers, in your sleep. Letting go is not as simple as forgive and forget. It's not a button. It's not a sermon. It's not a cliché that suddenly wipes your mind clean. So the real question is, how do you truly let go? Not just in words, but in spirit? Philippians 3 verse 13 says, "But one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead." That's not passive language. That's a decision, a battle, a straining forward. It takes force to pull yourself from the chains of what once was. But here's the twist. You don't forget the past by pretending it never happened. You forget it by robbing it of its power over your present. That's what Paul meant. That's what real healing looks like. The truth is, some of us are still living under the shadow of old trauma, betrayal, guilt, shame. Things we did and things done to us. And we wear those moments like invisible chains. Chains that rattle every time something good happens. Chains that whisper, "You're not worthy of this joy." But listen carefully. Isaiah 43 verse 18 says, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past." God isn't asking you to erase your memory. He's telling you to shift your focus. Stop building altars to pain. Start building altars to healing. You've rehearsed the hurt long enough. You've reread the messages. You've replayed the argument. You've had the imaginary conversation 1,000 times. But none of that has set you free. So what will? Here's where it begins. You take ownership of now. You choose to believe that your future is not held hostage by your history. You draw a line, not out of hate, but out of hope. You say, "I release what I can't repair." You say, "God, I'm tired of bleeding from wounds you already died to heal." And in that moment, chains begin to crack. Not all at once, but piece by piece. Letting go is not one decision. It's 100 decisions, every single day. To think different. To speak different. To respond different. And yes, it will hurt. But healing always does. It's not weakness. It's not forgetting. It's making peace with what no longer serves your future. If you're watching this right now, it means God hasn't given up on you. So don't give up on yourself. Comment one word that's stirring in your heart. One word that tells us you're ready for the next chapter. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel. This is where your new life starts. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. You look in the mirror, and all you see is the mistake, the moment, the regret. People moved on. But you're still trapped in the guilt. Still carrying it like a second skin. But listen to this closely. Guilt is not the voice of God. Conviction leads to change. Guilt leads to shame. And shame is a prison with no door. You replay your past sins. The things you said. The things you allowed. The things you didn't stop. But let me ask you, when Jesus said, "It is finished," did he leave a footnote for your exception? Did he say, "All sins except that one"? No. He paid it in full. The cross doesn't partially cleanse. It completely resets. But here's the trap. You want justice. You want to punish yourself for what you did. You think if you hurt long enough, God will finally forgive you. But that's not redemption. That's self-torture. You don't need to bleed. Someone already did. You don't need to die inside. Someone already died, outside the city gates. You keep saying, "I know God forgives me." But your heart says, "I don't deserve it." So which one is lying? God or your guilt? Isaiah 43 verse 25 says, even I, am he who blots out your transgressions for my own sake, and remembers your sins no more." Did you catch that? For his own sake. God doesn't forgive you because you earned it. He forgives you because it's in his nature to love, to restore, to rebuild what was shattered. But the devil, he thrives in silence. If he can keep you quiet, ashamed, alone, he wins. So speak it. Say it out loud. I'm not that mistake. I'm not who I used to be. I'm not perfect, but I am redeemed. Letting go of the past is not pretending it never happened. It's declaring it no longer defines you. You've grown. You've wept. You've learned. Now rise. Look at your scars. And call them evidence. Proof that grace didn't just find you. It carried you. Yes, the memories may still come. But now, they meet a different version of you. A healed you. A wiser you. A you that refuses to be a slave to yesterday. So I'll ask again. What are you still holding on to? What pain are you still feeding? And what would your life look like if you finally let it go? Comment the one word that describes what God is doing in your heart right now. And if this is hitting home, subscribe. Don't miss what's coming next. This journey is far from over. You've carried it for so long. You almost forgot what life feels like without it. The grudge, the resentment, the wound you covered up but never treated. They told you to forgive and forget. But how do you forget the pain that shaped you? How do you let go of something that's become part of your identity? Maybe it wasn't just one event. Maybe it was years. Years of abandonment. Years of being unseen. Years of crying out and getting silence in return. And now? Now you don't even trust peace when it comes. You've built walls instead of bridges. You protect your heart. But in doing so, you've also caged your joy. So here's the truth you need to hear. Letting go is not weakness. It's not denial. It's warfare. Because when you hold on to the past, you're not just holding memories, you're holding weights. And every time God tries to move you forward, the past pulls you back. But here's the good news. You were never meant to carry it alone. Jesus said, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Not just sleep, not escape, rest. Let that word settle. You've been fighting battles that aren't even yours anymore. Fighting people who don't live in your life, just your head. Reliving moments that don't exist, except in the replay of your imagination. But today, right now, you get to choose. You get to say, this ends here. Not because they apologized. Not because you're pretending. But because peace is more valuable than revenge. And purpose is louder than pain. Letting go doesn't mean what they did was okay. It means what they did no longer gets to live rent-free in your spirit. You are not what happened to you. You are not the version of yourself that made those mistakes. You are not the echoes of that heartbreak. You are not stuck. Not doomed. Not disqualified. You are still in process. Still covered. Still called. God can still use what's left. And sometimes, what's left is more than enough. So here's the last thing I'll say. Stop worshiping your wounds. Start walking in your healing. Stop praying for the past to change. Start thanking God that your future still exists. Right now, in this moment, release it. Say it with your chest. I let go. For real this time. Say it until your heart catches up. Say it until heaven hears. Say it until you believe it. And if this spoke to you, then don't keep it to yourself. Someone else is waiting for this exact moment. Share this video. Comment the one word that describes what you're walking away from, or the one you're walking toward. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Not for me, but for you. So you don't miss the next step in your healing. This is not the end. This is the release.